Okay.
Hi, Sarah.
Can you get that? I'm on a Zoom meeting.
And folks, we're not being broadcast in the church, so you can feel free to unmute and talk with one another. And probably I'll do breakout rooms once we get a few more folks here, since it's a little easier to talk with one another when it's not 100 people on the screen. I imagine we'll have a pretty healthy Zoom audience tonight with the weather. Just to give me an idea, how many people would have attended in person but decided to do Zoom because of the weather? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And if you wish, you can type in to chat your name and the congregation that you are representing, if you're representing one. And that'll be a little historical record for us of tonight's proceedings. Beautiful. Everybody's doing a great job.
Guess we needed that. Who knew? You can grab some food if you want to, Dave.
Oh, food. Wow.
That's one experience we can't mimic here. Hi. Master controller. Got it.
Okay, so once we're at the Chum Fall Assembly. And it's being hosted by East Ridge Community Church here on Arrowhead Road. I can show you what the inside of the church looks like. I'll spotlight this so you can see. We're arranged in tables today. There's going to be an opportunity to do some talking with your table mates. We'll do some virtual tables for the Zoom audience. And why don't I do this? Because it's probably we got reached that point where it's maybe hard for folks to speak up and to talk with such a big crowd. So I'm going to do a couple little breakout rooms. And how about if I put you in breakout rooms for about, I don't know, 6-7 minutes? No, let's do 5 minutes. We'll do 5-minute breakout rooms and then I'll scatter them again. So kind of 5 minutes to talk with the folks that you've got there. Let's do 3 breakout rooms. Okay. All right. So here you go. You can join a breakout room and have a little conversation. I'll keep the breakout rooms open for 5 minutes, then I'll shuffle them again. So enjoy your conversation. Here it goes.
Oh, you did? Right, still a little out of the loop. But you're okay. Okay. What do you need to know? I think he also wants to know everything. Then, like, open the ceremony. But
And Maddie, if you can hear me, my name is Dave Johnson. I'm the Zoom host tonight.
there's some-
And if you wish, you could type in onto the chat your name and the congregation that you are representing.
To build the stage, do sound, do everything. And yeah, obviously couldn't do that to work. But that wasn't the case. So we were trying to put this in. Oh. I got a new render. What did I do? We'll go over there.
Okay. And Catherine, I'm going to move you into a breakout room or let you join a breakout room if you wish.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit late. What?
Oh,
what are
you're
we
not late
break
at
up-
all. You are early. The breakout room is just to enjoy some conversation.
Oh,
So here we
okay.
go.
And so when does it actually come?
Chum, the assembly starts at 7 o'clock.
Oh, I got it. Okay,
So here's a little breakout room for you.
great.
Okay, and you can join that when you wish. And Warren, if you can hear my voice, my name is Dave Johnson, and I'm gonna assign you to a breakout room just to enjoy some conversation with some folks there. And you can just click on the link and join up if you wish, or you can hang out here.
It's actually not Warren, it's me. Oh,
Okay. Hi, Mrs. Warren.
Yeah.
So this is Dave Johnson, just trying out a feature I've never used before, broadcasting my voice to the breakout room. I'll give you about 1 more minute and then I'm going to call you back and split you up again. So this is Dave Johnson. I'm going to try a feature I've never tried before, broadcasting to breakout rooms. And if this works, you can hear my voice. I'm going to reassign you in about a minute or so. So I'm just rereading Harry Potter, and I will tell you that being the Zoom host is so Harry Potterish. Yeah, little flute powder. Whoosh. send you off to where you need to go. So fun. Could you hear my voice like coming into the individual rooms? Is that like a little freaky?
You pulled us out.
All right. Okay, I'm going to
But
shuffle
can we steal
the
that
deck a
idea?
little bit. Natalie?
Kathleen, can we steal
Yeah.
your idea?
Oh, yeah, it's a
But
very
they're
easy.
reverse.
Yeah, and because some people like to just bring things, I also put out boxes with just the names of the charities, and then they can bring them all month long and drop them in. But it's a great family project. Rather than opening a little door and getting a chocolate or a present, you give something.
I like it. And that, I like the catch of the reverse Advent, and we call the clothesline the giving warmth line. And it's good to have a catchy phrase to go with
Mhm.
things. So
Mm.
thanks.
Yep, you're welcome.
Okay, I've reshuffled the rooms, and I'm going to move you to breakout rooms again for some conversation with a different group, maybe. See how it shakes out. Here you go.
Who said that? Barb Crow.
Welcome, welcome. My name is Dave Johnson, and I'm your Zoom host for this evening for the Chum Fall Assembly. A lot of people are out in breakout rooms right now, online here, and I'm going to invite them back And then we'll kind of reshuffle the breakout rooms, and I'll send you to breakout rooms just for some conversation with a smaller group. And if you'd be so kind as to type into the chat your name and the congregation you're representing.
Sure.
Okay. All right, in another minute, I'll be calling you back from your breakout room.
Look at that tail. Wham, wham, wham.
What's gonna happen? Nothing?
Hey, I've invited folks to come back from their breakout room.
Cynthia's there. I don't know where that's going. Oh,
Oh. Ouch.
you have the microphone off?
Okay, once again, my name's Dave Johnson. I'm your Zoom host. If you're wondering if you're in the right Zoom location, this is the Chum Fall Assembly hosted by East Ridge Community Church. And I hope you've had a chance to enter your name into the chat and the church or congregation you are representing. And in a minute here, I'll kind of divide us up into our kind of our last breakout room for the beginning here, for the opening of this assembly. We'll be doing breakout rooms in the middle of it when we do circles of prayer, and I'll kind of guide you through that process as well. So here we go. Let me recreate some breakout rooms. Five rooms. It'll be interesting to see if you have the same person in your group the 3 times. That will be interesting to see, or maybe it'll be somebody all new. Here we go. Who knows? And you've been invited to join a room.
Hello, Jane.
David, our youngest, is 15.
Okay. What made him decide to go to Barcelona, Spain for college?
Well, he actually decided to go.
All right, I'll be closing the breakout rooms in about a minute.
This. And that is literally, that's on the screen, right? That's on the projector too. Yeah, that's pretty slick. Yeah. So how many are in this? 8? Oh, 8. Yeah.
Well, there's
Oh,
a bunch
and
in breakout rooms, so as they pile back in. Oh, no, I'm in an infinity loop.
You are. Looking down the abyss. There you go. Yeah, I saw that happen earlier. Did you see like they're like disco?
Yeah, I don't know why I
That
did
was
that.
so
Yeah.
weird. And it kept getting darker.
Yeah, I have no idea why I did that. There must have been some sort of loop where it was taking.
A copy of a copy of a copy of a.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it was taking this.
All right, folks are joining back in after their little breakout room session. And we just did the breakout rooms to
Yep.
foster some conversation in a smaller group.
Are we done now?
No, we're done with breakout rooms. Yeah,
Okay.
those, remember, those weren't official, like accomplish anything breakout rooms. They were just breakout rooms to just talk to one another. Yeah.
We
just say
enjoyed it.
Hi. Good.
Uh-huh.
Good. So once again, my name is Dave Johnson and I'm the Zoom host. Over here to my right is the amazing Justin and Tom here, pastor and associate pastor of East Ridge Community Church. And together we'll be trying to make this show fun for you and fun for the people in the audience. I think there's probably about 50 people here
Wow.
or so. And there's
Wow.
lots of pizza. It's not too late. The roads are probably sanded. You could probably get up here and get some pizza. But you all look so comfortable. Maybe you're just fine. But
No,
there's
they
definitely-
didn't tell me. They didn't tell me ahead of time about the pizza. I'm
I
a,
knew nothing of the pizza. I knew nothing of the pizza.
oh,
Yeah, but it looks good.
Glenwood is the only thing that we have this season.
Oh, and there's also salad too, and little bottles of water. Okay. So we're just about 3 minutes away from showtime. And how this is going to work is if you have something you need to say to the whole assembly, you're going to have to flag me down, chat to me or something, and we can maybe make that work, or we can make that work. But normally I'll just be kind of passing along stuff that might be in the chat to the congregation or to the folks gathered here, if that's appropriate. And in a minute, we'll kind of turn it over just to the sound of what's happening in the church. So I'm going to ask Justin to unmute. And now you're just hearing the sounds of folks in the church along with me. I'm going to remove my spotlight. And you can go ahead and mute yourselves, or I can kind of work through here and mute folks. And once again, if you hadn't had a chance to type into the chat your name and the congregation you're representing, that would be sweet. And your pictures are not being broadcast on the church or anything. It's just be slides. You can feel comfortable leaving your screen on, if your video on if you wish, or off, whatever you're most comfortable with. And if any point in time you have any issues, sound or anything, just send me a message in the chat.
Hey, Seth.
Oh, he's in there.
He's in there?
Yeah, I see him right now. He's in the sanctuary.
Okay.
All right, looks like things are just about ready to start here.
So I'm really gonna.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Wanted to welcome you to Eastridge. My name is Tom. I'm the senior pastor here. If you're in the lobby, if you want to come on in. And thank you to everyone for being here and for being online. That one, I think. And if you're on connecting with Zoom, thank you for joining us. I know there's quite a few on there as well. If you didn't grab anything to eat, please do so. Bulldog Pizza lovingly provided the meal for tonight, and they're members of our church, but also supporters of Chum as well. So that's the plug for Bulldog, and so thank you to them. And I think the coffee is decaf. We didn't want to do that to you. Both pots are decaf, so you're good to go there. Cool. All right, so I'm going to say the prayer, and we'll get this party started. Lord, we just thank you for gathering all of us together this evening to do the work. May we join together in this fellowship, and may we seek solutions and just love one another as we love the city, as we love the people that are here, as they're all children of God. We pray all of this in the holy name of Jesus. Amen. You're up. And I think we have, there you go.
Thank you. Ooh, it's right up here. My name is Julie Jagum. I am a member of the Chum Board of Directors, and I welcome you. We do have work to do. And so to ground us in that, I am going to read our vision and mission statement that we have for Chum. Our mission statement: Chum is people of faith working together to provide basic necessities, foster stable lives, and organize for a just and compassionate community. And our vision is a future where every person has food, shelter, dignity, and hope, where racial disparities are eliminated, and where everyone lives in a just and compassionate community. So, we are grounded.
Good evening. I'll make sure I'm on here. Red light means I'm on, okay. My name is Don, and this is Seth. We are members here at Eastridge, and we certainly welcome you here. And one of the things that I'm aware of when you get a group like this together, not only do you all volunteer and do so much to serve so many people here in this community through Chum, but chances are this room contains people who volunteer other ways. Once you see somebody who volunteers in one place, they're probably volunteers somewhere else. A number of years ago, in 2001, I wrote this song called You Give from the Heart, and I think it represents what you're all about with Chum and with all of your other work that you do. See if I'm on. Yes. I've seen you give to the homeless and poor. You feed them and clothe them and give them much more. I've seen you help little children to read and care for the frail and the aged in need. Some people give for the wealth that they'll gain, for high recognition or status or fame, but you give unselfishly, doing your part. You change lives forever because you give from the heart. I've seen you visit the dying and ill. You lighten their burdens and you strengthen their will. I've seen you out in the snow, in the cold, on a mission of mercy for someone who's old. Some people give for the wealth that they'll gain, for high recognition or status or fame, but you give unselfishly, doing your part. You change lives forever because you give from the heart. I've seen you serve as eyes for the blind, as friend to the lonely with words that are kind. I've seen you serve as relief for the pain, as ears for the deaf, and as legs for the lame. Some people give for the wealth that they'll gain, for high recognition or status or fame, but you give unselfishly, doing your part. You change lives forever because you give from the heart. All this you give with no thought of reward. You volunteer freely of your own accord. You make our world a little better each day. You give us a gift we can never repay. Some people give for the wealth that they'll gain, for high recognition or status or fame, but you give unselfishly, doing your part. You change lives forever because you give from the heart. You give from the heart. You give from the heart.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for being with us. My name is Patrice, and I'm a member of the Board of Directors, and I'm here to do the roll call. Now, we have had some folks RSVP, but we know the roads are not fun outside, so it's possible that there are folks who said they were going to be here that aren't. But when I call out your congregation, would you please respond with here or present or any other creative thing you'd like to say? My parish does the wave. Asbury United Methodist Church. Benedictine Sisters of St. Scholastica Monastery. Cathedral of Our Lady of the Rosary. Woo! College of St. Scholastica Campus Ministry. Concordia Lutheran Church. Duluth Congregational Church. Duluth Superior Friends Meeting.
We're here on Zoom.
Eastridge Community Church. Yay. Elam Lutheran Church. Family of God Lutheran Church. Yay. First Covenant Church. First Lutheran Church. First United Methodist Church. French River Lutheran. Glen Avon. Gloria Dei Lutheran.
You're on Zoom.
Grace Lutheran.
You're on Zoom.
Hillside United Methodist.
Here on Zoom.
Holy Cross Lutheran. Holy Family Catholic. Hope United Methodist. Kenwood Lutheran. Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. Lutheran Church of the Good Shepherd. Yay! I said. Lakeside Presbyterian Church. Our Savior's Lutheran Church. Peace United Church of Christ.
On Zoom.
Pilgrim Congregational Church. St. Andrews by the Lake Episcopal Church.
On Zoom.
St. Benedict's Catholic Church. Yay. St. John's the Evangelist Catholic Church. St. Mark African Methodist Episcopal Church. St. Mary Star of the Sea Catholic Church. St. Michael's Catholic Church. Yay. St. Paul's Episcopal Church.
You're on Zoom.
Welcome to the new rector. Salem Covenant Church. Salem Lutheran Church.
You're on Zoom.
Temple Israel. Yay. Trinity Episcopal. Trinity Lutheran. That's a Trinity table? Yeah. All Trinity, all the time. And then Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Duluth. There she is. We have 3 congregations who are asking to join Chum, and we'll act on those at our next assembly in February, and that is UMD Chi Alpha Campus Ministries, Duluth Seventh-day Adventist, and 12 Holy Apostles Greek Orthodox. Thanks, everyone. And now I'm going to turn the mic over to John, our esteemed executive director.
So good evening, everyone, and so good to see you all here tonight. This our assembly. We want to talk a little bit about Chum and where we're headed. A strategic plan helps us to be able to fulfill our mission and helps us to be responsive to the needs, the current needs of society, and to help guide the way for our movements in the future. And so we have been working on creating a strategic plan for Chum. Our last strategic plan went from 2017 to 2019, and then the pandemic hit, and we coped with it. And now that we are on the other side of that, we have now been working very hard this year towards developing a strategic plan. So tonight you're going to hear from Brad Billinger from Cincinnatus Inc., our consultant, and he'll be sharing with you what you have come up with. Thank you.
All right. I wish I was there to present this to you in person, but in a weird case of circumstances, we're having rough weather here in the Twin Cities while you're having mild weather up there in Duluth. But it's my pleasure to continue the work with Chum that started actually over a couple of years ago when we helped the search that we conducted the search that brought John to Chum. So we've worked on the strategic plan. I believe we kicked this off a little under a year ago. And let me talk to you about the process and what we followed to get us to where we are today. We conducted a number of interviews with people who have an interest in Chum's success. So we talked to funders both at the government level, but also from philanthropy. We talked to staff, we talked to board members, we talked to the people you serve. And so this included meeting with families at Steve O'Neill Apartments. This included meeting with some of the older adults at St. Francis, and just getting their opinion and their experience with Chum. We presented all of that in a report to a strategic planning committee that consisted of some members of staff and some members of the board. We held a retreat over the summer and came up with a number of ideas. We really looked at what are the opportunities for Chum, what are the challenges for Chum, and given where Chum is today, how is it positioned to respond to those opportunities and challenges, and what does it need to do differently, or what does it need to do that's new to respond to those. And for that part of it, not only did we at first we just had some members of the strategic planning committee from the board, as well as some leadership staff. But for getting all of that idea generation, we invited the entire staff to participate in the retreat. So we had just a number of great thinkers putting together everything. After the retreat, we came up with a first draft of a strategic plan. First draft is never really the final draft. It's just, did we capture everything correctly? It included some things for Chum to do, some things for them to do that's new, some things that are different, but hopefully not too much, because we also had to look at, where does Chum have the resources to be able to take this on? And we also included in that, how is Chum going to measure the success of this plan? What are the things that the organization is going to track to know that they're moving the needle in the direction that they want it to move? In the presentation I'll be sharing with you shortly, you won't see those measures on there, but they are in a written Word document version of the plan that the board has seen and the board has approved. For the purposes of the presentation here at this assembly, we're going to be giving you just a very high level look at what the strategic plan is going to be taking on. So I'm going to share my screen to do that with you now. And what you have here on this slide is Chum's current mission statement. We decided not to touch that. We thought it really explained what the organization is about. There may be some revisiting of the mission statement over the year as we look to implement the first strategy that's going to show up in a couple of slides here. But for the purposes of this meeting and the purposes of accepting the strategic plan, we left the mission statement alone. So now into the strategic plan, which really lays out a new vision for Chum, and you'll see that there are some things that are new, that are exciting, and there's some work to do to get us there. So the first strategy, well, these are the strategies here, is well, the first strategy is to optimize Chum's 50th anniversary. Now, many organizations take different approaches to a milestone anniversary such as this. Some just hold a solitary event, and others look for ways to celebrate the anniversary and recognize 50 years of accomplishments and 50 years of mission fulfillment throughout the entire anniversary year of the organization. And the latter is the approach that we're looking to take here with Chum. So some of the work to be done and some of the ways to really leverage or optimize Chum's 50th anniversary are to promote a counter narrative regarding homelessness in Duluth. And what we mean by counter narrative is you have some civic leaders, some elected officials, some business leaders who've gone public, even in print, talking about homelessness in Duluth and portraying it in a very negative light, and almost saying that it's a blight upon the community. And Chum is really looking to use its 50th anniversary to present a different narrative as to, the city that Duluth really is, just the community at large, and being able to look at homelessness in a different way. So so there will be plenty of opportunities as you have various messages during your 50th anniversary to do that. Looking to integrate congregations in anniversary observances. So this would be either at their congregation, at individual congregations, having something there, or bringing a number of congregations together. Looking at, this is an opportunity to hold out the hand and ask for some donations for Chum. So certainly wanting to make sure that as we're providing this counter narrative, as we're talking about 50 years of success with the organization, making sure that people have an opportunity to participate in the next 50 years for Chum. It will also include recognition for individuals and institutions that have contributed to 50 years of mission fulfillment at Chum. And then as sort of sharing the burden, because that sounds like a lot of work, one of the things we'd be looking at doing then is recruiting a 50th anniversary chair or co-chair. These would be honorary positions. These would be people outside of the organization, maybe community or civic leaders, who would be the chairs of Chum's 50th anniversary, so that they would be, spokespeople or a spokesperson on behalf of the organization. So these are your advocates already, the people that are already championing the work that Chum is doing. But you're getting positive messaging coming from people outside the organization. So these community influencers would be really singing your praises, and that would be a way to also lend some teeth into the messages that you want to get out there. A second strategy then is to strengthen relationships that you have with congregations. So that's, there's been sort of, I'd say over the past several years, maybe some of the ways that communication has been done with congregations may not have been consistent from congregation to congregation. So just looking for ways to come up with a formal congregation communication plan that's a two-way communication plan. How does Chum give its messages and communicate with its member congregations, but also how do member congregations have input into what Chum is doing. In addition to that, it's looking at new member recruitment, for new congregations, and a way to really look at how do we include congregations, institutions of worship that are maybe different from what we've done in the past. So this would be a special effort to look to bring non-denominational evangelical congregations into the work of Chum, and also some of the BIPOC congregations. So Black and Indigenous people of color is what that means. But ways to bring diversity into the work of Chum there. And then finally, creating a specific role definition for congregations regarding Chum membership. What does it mean to belong to Chum? What does it mean for the congregation, but also what does it mean for Chum itself? So putting getting just some formality here, and consistency from congregation to congregation. So that's, engaging congregations. This third strategy is engaging a different group of people, and these are your civic and community leaders, as well as the business community. And it's important to engage all of those people, because some of these people have sort of, as I mentioned with the first strategy, had some negative things to say about, not necessarily about Chum, but certainly about the people that you're looking to help. So how does Chum go about recruiting more community leaders, nonprofit participation in stepping on up Duluth? So that you've done some of the work already in just bringing together that consortium of leaders and organizations. So it's just continuing that work there. It's making sure that SOU or Chum has a place on agendas of importance, whether these are city council meetings, fraternal organizations, such as the Rotary, just where Chum can give some presentations as to what it's doing, and also as an opportunity to state that counter narrative. Again, without a counter narrative, the only narrative you have is what people are saying about homelessness, about the homeless individuals and families around. And so, rather than just have that story be the only story, you need to make sure that there's an alternative story that gets out there. You want to increase the use of expanding horizons with your congregational leaders. And Chum also being able to facilitate community conversations about a solution, a multifaceted solution or approach to homelessness in Duluth. Many times Chum feels, and others have felt, that Chum is sort of going it alone here. So it's but homelessness is not a Chum problem. It's probably, it's a community problem. And if we look beyond Duluth, it's a societal problem. So, how does Chum, take the leadership role in facilitating the conversation to a community-driven approach to a community issue? So that's what that's talking about there. So that's, getting the civic community, the nonprofit community, the commercial community, all to feel that they have some skin in the game here. And then finally, establishing standards for those who benefit from Chum services to serve on decision-making bodies, such as board committees. So an example of this, I'll talk about an organization in the Twin Cities that does affordable housing, and they have some apartment buildings, and they have within their bylaws that on their board of directors, they need to have residents, a certain number of residents in their buildings serve on their boards of directors. And that's what this is speaking to here, is are there some people who Chum is benefiting that you want to hear from, and they now have some input into some of the decisions that get made regarding Chum. Fourth is to build on the organizational strength and resiliency. So this is making sure that Chum has the resources in place to be able to do all of what it wants to do here. So some of the specific things here are to steward existing relationships with institutional funders, Stewardship in this case means, means relationship building. It maybe sounds a little bit differently than the stewardship campaigns you have in your congregations. But this is really just proactively going to your institutional funders and saying, here's what Chum is doing. And you're communicating with them even when you're not asking them for money. So many times foundations only hear from nonprofits when it's time to fill out a grant application, stick out the hand and ask for money here. This is really about, relationships. Stewardship is just communicating what's happening even when you're not asking for money. And also approaching some of those philanthropic institutions as partners in helping come up with solutions. So what ideas do they have, and how do they think that they can help, or how can they connect Chum with other people who might be able to help Chum fulfill its mission? Which leads into the second bullet point here, and that's pursuing grant funding with co-applicants as appropriate. If there's a greater chance for a grant application partner to come on board with Chum to help, to really help, institute a new program or deliver new services that Chum might not be able to do solely on its own, but boy, with another partner and coming on, that can make a stronger application to get funding there. Also broadening its individual donor approach to include individual donors within congregations and also within the community. And again, the 50th anniversary may be an opportunity to do that. In addition to financial donations to help an organization fulfill its mission, it also relies on in-kind donations, and one of those in-kind donations is time. So here we're looking at developing a volunteer recruitment strategy and fulfillment process that's going to have some mandatory training. There was a meeting of the assembly earlier this year where we explored this issue in a little bit of depth, and people felt that they want to volunteer, but they don't know where they can volunteer, or if they sign up to volunteer, there's maybe a gap of time between them fulfilling that desire to volunteer. So it's really tightening up and creating some formalization and standardization to this process. And then finally, creating a human resources plan to staff the community organizing function. Also this summer, when the assembly met, we talked about this issue. There used to be more community organization work that Chum had done. You've lost some staff in that area, so how do we bolster that and get staff up there? But also, not only for that function, but overall to improve retention, make sure that looking at how do we hire people more quickly. And then finally for John, and many people have mentioned this, I will say John has not mentioned it himself. He's very humble, but others really feel that John needs a strong administrative support person because he's busy doing a lot of things. And I think the organization would really benefit from a strong administrative support person for him. And then finally, the final strategy is to expand Chum's facilities to accommodate the growing need for homeless services. We talked about whether this strategy should be first and everything else kind of supports it, or whether everything else should come first, kind of leading to this final one, because this is a big one. And so we decided to keep it at the end, really looking at, doing the work in the other places, because then that just feeds right into a big ask for the community in general. And that's, how do you create more space for the growing need for homeless services? That need is not going to go away. It's probably not going to decrease. Especially in the Duluth area where all of know that housing is tough. So, we're not only looking at housing here, it's just, shelter. Right now, your shelter is sometimes being used as transitional housing, and that's not the purpose for it. So how do you get more space to do the things that you want to do effectively? And there's a number of ways to do that. We're not locked into anything right here, as you can see looking at these bullet points. It's really about what is the best solution for additional space. Is it to add on to Chum's existing buildings? Is it brand new, development, put a shovel in the ground somewhere? Is it rehabbing or redeveloping current real estate to meet the need? So it's kind of looking at all of those. All of those have different ways of being funded. So right now, at least for this, early on in the strategic plan, the work here is mainly going to be investigative to look at what's the best way to do this. So examine the existing programs and services, involve SOU as partners in it. How do you make a case to, a business case, for the funding, for government funding, for philanthropic funding, for corporate foundation funding, for just an ask to individual people. Again, determining the best model, approach, location for how you're going to create this space. Look at the different funding things, including getting a maximum line of credit. Hopefully you don't have to dip into that all the way to the maximum, but it's good to have that because that may help you get some other funding. You'll need to staff the expanded facilities. Again, that's going to require not only the people to hire, but also funds and resources to pay them. And so likely when organizations take on something like this, they look at doing some type of capital campaign, and probably some of your congregations know what it's like to take on capital campaigns. So you know what's involved with that. And for the strategic plan that Chum is doing here, this might be doing a feasibility study. How much can we really raise in this community for this type of work? So that would be a final part for that. And the work that you do in the previous 4 slides may increase how much you're able to raise by the time you get around to doing the feasibility study. So that's what we have for the strategic plan for Chum over the next several years. I'm going to turn it back over to John to carry on with the rest of the agenda and maybe to field any questions from the assembly members.
Thank you very much, Brad. Could I have a round of applause? Thank you. So that is the outline of our strategic plan. We're going to optimize our 50th anniversary. We're going to strengthen relationships with congregations, engage civic, community, commercial organizations, and build on organizational strength and resiliency, and expand Chum's facilities to accommodate growing need for homeless services. And thank you very much. You acknowledge that I have a lot of work to do, and thank you for the additional work that you have given me for the next 3 years. I want to say it's great idea generation and thought, and thank you for all the input that each one of you would have made to contribute. Is this something that you think that we can work on over the next 3 years? Because we're not going to be doing this, it's not just the staff alone is going to be doing this, we all have to do this together, and this is the purpose of this. If we really are going to address homelessness decisively, it has to be all of us, and that's why the plan includes the outreach to our civic partners, commercial partners, as well as developing and strengthening and deepening relationships with congregations. All key, everyone has a role to play in responding to the increase in demand that our society faces. And so I want to thank you for that. I want you to know that you're not alone here. Online, we have some 13 congregations who have joined us. And so together in person and in virtual reality, we're going to do this in so many different ways to make 2023 to 2025 years one of increased success as we respond to the homeless crisis within our region. All right? And so we want to move on next to some announcements. And before that, though, I want to just take a chance, a little moment to reflect on all the work that our various congregations have been doing. You are the lifeblood of Chum, and Chum also invigorates the life of our congregations. And so we just want to take a look at all of that as in the next few minutes. Thank you. Yum.
We are people of faith. As people of faith, we come from many different traditions and practices. We each speak our own language to God, the spirit of life, the eternal. We speak to the mysterious thread that connects us one to the other and to the universe. We embody the yearning of all people to see each other's joys and sorrows as our own, and we know that we are not alone. Tonight, I invite each of you to join in a circle of prayer as I offer an intention. At your table, add your prayer or intention silently or aloud in response to each prompt, and I will sound a bell when we move to the next intention. For persons who are homeless, hungry, suffering from disease or illness, for those who have experienced trauma, and for those who are alone. Please offer your prayers at your table.
And I've invited you to join a breakout room, and you can share your intention there, and then I'll kind of be Pat and broadcast those intentions to you to your room.
For the staff and volunteers who provide hope, who offer hospitality, access to shelter, food, health care, and a community of support to those seeking aid.
Your next circle of prayer is for the staff and volunteers who provide hope, who offer hospitality, access to shelter, food, health care, and a community of support to those seeking aid.
For congregations and organizations, businesses and neighborhoods working together in community to respond to the need of our neighbors who have no homes.
Your next intention is for congregations and organizations, businesses and neighborhoods working together in community to respond to the needs of our neighbors who have no homes.
For our city, county, state, and national leaders who frame the policies and determine the nature of our communities and how we care for each other.
Our next intention is for our city, county, state, and national leaders who frame the policies that determine the nature of our communities and how we care for each other.
Please offer any additional intentions at this time.
Please offer any additional intentions at this time.
May we help each other to proclaim the possibilities that we see, to create the community we desire, to teach the truth as we know it, and to serve with justice in all the ways that we can, so that our lives are fulfilled in one another.
So if we can do an activity, return to your tables. Looks like there might be only one table where there's just two of, you guys, yes, you can join at another table. I invite you to go around your table and offer a word or a phrase that comes to your mind from what we've experienced tonight. We've heard a lot. We've gotten a report on some of the programs. We've gotten a report on the strategic plan progress. So maybe offer a word at your table that has struck you this evening. Maybe struck you personally or struck you as something that your congregation can engage in. And the response, or the word that we're looking for should come from this question. How then shall we live? How then shall we live? So maybe go around your circle and visit a little bit, and then we'll come back together in a couple minutes.
I've invited you to join a room to consider the question, how then shall we live? Please join that room.
I'm gonna go around.
Well, you were gonna go around.
Did everybody have meaningful conversations?
Yep.
I'm going to start going around and maybe folks can do a little report back.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. You didn't, they weren't listening. That's okay, nobody else is either. Do you have anything you want to share from your table conversations?
I think the word is urgency.
Did everyone hear that?
The word is urgency.
True. Thank you, Lauren. How about this table back here?
Whatever you want to say, Suzanne works for me.
Ours would be engagement.
You say more about that?
Engagement of the churches and engagement of people that are not in the faith community. And so broadening that engagement of all people in our community to address the problem of homelessness.
Thank you. How about this table?
Per person. So if you have that person can. We had persistent, cooperative, community, engagement, and creativity.
Did everybody hear these? Nice. Saw a picture of you in that slideshow. It's just. How about this table?
All-inclusive community, how it would be, we think it's important to involve all members of the community in Chum, people that don't necessarily have a voice right now.
All-inclusive community, very good. Ownership, right? How about this table, the Trinity table?
Yeah, we seems overwhelmed, yeah.
Overwhelmed? Say more about that.
We talked just about how it's so big, and so kind of the need for finding ways to give people little ways to enter it. So improving communications, that there's really easy access points that start getting you engaged.
Great.
Kind of breaks it down so it's not such a big deal.
Great, thank you. How about our last table here?
We came up with a couple words. We said empathy, respect, and ambition.
You have something more to say about those?
Sure, I think it's easier to sympathize instead of empathize, and when you empathize with another person, it's easier for you to understand where they're coming from. And I think building a community of empathetic people will help solve this issue that we're going through right now.
Great. Thank you. I said that was the last table, but I forgot my own table. Oh.
Online.
Oh, and online.
Someone
Dave,
wants to.
does anybody online have anything to say?
Yes, Sarah Maddie says we talked about moving forward with compassion and hope. Father Dustin Lyon from 12 Holy Apostles settled on the word, a Greek word that I don't quite know how to pronounce. So Father, would you like to unmute and help us with that word?
Yep.
Which is Greek for like good guts, but it's usually translated as compassion.
Oh. Good guts.
Good guts.
Nice.
We like it.
We do.
Charlotte talked about the need to work together with deeper sense of community with each other. And David Carlson talked about, they talked about courage, audacious optimism, ambitious vision, and all of us.
Oh.
And one of my favorite people in the world, Liz Benson Johnson, says, shared responsibility. All members of the larger community share responsibility, eliminating homelessness in Duluth. And that's all for our online folks, unless I missed anybody.
Great, thank you. Thank you. How about this table?
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, hold on. It's on the next page. Here we go. All right.
Did you know that Lori was going to have 2 pages full?
Generous compassion. How then shall we live? With intention, with courage, to step away from our plans for the day when a need arises. Return the gratitude. In loving community, loving each individual, our eyes open to opportunities, and also how then should we live as a big diverse family looking out for each other.
Did that cover it? All right. I'm sorry, what, Pat? Okay, so would you also, Pat had the stack of these census sheets here. So would you please maybe write out your own intention and leave it on the table so we can collect them and learn from them and have a dialogue about where we go with some of these things. And then we're going to try and capture all of the ideas, maybe share them with others. And then with that, I think I'll turn the microphone over to Bradley, who is our Director of Communications.
Hi everyone, my name is Bradley Zweigerman. I'm the Director of Communications and Marketing at Chum as of last July, and just wanted to say that it is a blast to work with this organization, and I say it over and over again every chance I get, but I truly love this job, and it's really the first one I've had that after a long break or something like that, I'm actually excited to get back to work. So I feel really lucky to be able to say that. I'm not texting my wife, I'm pulling up my notes so I can remember where I am going, even though I don't have too much to say. So I wanted to recap a couple of big events in the last few weeks and months here, and the first was our annual street outreach dinner. So at the street outreach dinner, we got a bunch of people together. It was a really fun night. We enjoyed a meal together. I see some faces that were here and obviously know about it. So things to note, we had 281 guests this year, which is fantastic. The capacity was 300, so we were very, very close to maxing that place out, which was really, really cool. We had, dozens of auction items from the local businesses in Duluth were donated, and just individuals in the community, which was really awesome to see. And we were able to raise over $54,000 for our street outreach program, which is really, really awesome. Yes. So another event to note was Give to the Max Day, that if you're not familiar, Give MN is an organization and rallies people around this time of year to donate to their favorite nonprofits and other organizations like that. So with that, Minnesotans and individuals in this community all gathered together, and we were able to raise over $16,000 on Give to the Max Day alone. And with Giving Tuesday being today, which is kind of like a smaller Give to the Max Day, and donations that were in person or through PayPal, we were able to raise another $2,000. So that's $18,000 in total that were able to be raised just through online giving donations, which is really, really, really cool. And with that, I will pass the mic off to John for final announcements.
Thank you, Bradley. All right.
So you have lots of paper on your table, and very important information on those. I just want to remind you to just take those with you. Lots of information to share with the congregation. And for those of you online, these will be emailed to you as long as registered, so you'll be able to get those as well. There's a food shelf list, a wish list for a food shelf, and wish list for various departments within Chum, as well as their volunteer opportunities. Right now, we're an average receiving an average of 60 persons at the Warming Center, and we need volunteers there. And so there is a sheet with lists, questions, and answers about
please collect that, and you will get the insider's guide to volunteering at the Warming Center. All right? So, what else can we talk about?
Laundry love.
Laundry love. Newsflash, newsflash. We have managed to organize a local version of the national initiative called Laundry Love. And so, with the kind cooperation of Spin City, come January, we will be able to offer free laundry to persons in need across the city. But it's going to take your help to do so. We want to start off being able to do that every second and fourth Tuesday in January. And what it would mean is that congregations would have an opportunity to choose a Tuesday between 8 and 12. Have some volunteers there, raise some funds to pay for the supplies, the laundry supplies. And we'll be able to welcome, just be promoted far and wide. And so we will be serving the communities that we serve, as well as those less unfortunate, those households who really need something like this. And so Laundry Love will be available come January. And there's information available to you about that as well. And it's one of the other initiatives that we have been able to start. And it will be a great opportunity for congregations to make the plug-in in this way and provide a basic need for families and individuals, those experiencing homelessness or those living in crisis with challenging incomes. And finally, pardon?
You hired.
Oh yeah, finally, we kind of jump-started. Yes, another question?
I do about Laundry Love.
Yes.
I looked up this form.
Yes.
And it says it does not match any documents currently. And I've looked over what I've typed in, so just.
I will make sure it's correct and I will send it out with a follow-up email.
Okay,
So, look out for a follow-up email with all the relevant information about connecting with Laundry Love, a wonderful opportunity. And finally, after a long search, we're pleased to announce that we have been able to hire a director of operations. And that started before my time. But I'm glad to say that we have been successful in retaining the services of Amber Sadowski, who is currently with Lighthouse, and will be joining us on December the 8th to start with Chum as the Director of Operations. Amber brings 7 years of nonprofit experience in both program and administrative sides of that whole sphere. She's helped to start and run transitional employment programs for youth, grant writing, volunteer coordinating, donor database management, assisting with nonprofit finances, etc. What Amber will be doing, she'll be working closely with me in implementing plans, managing staff, and monitoring various key parts of the organization. And so we're really excited about this. This is something that has been in the works for a long time, and as you can see, it was part of the strategic plan. That's how important it was. And so we are making progress already before the year started. So we are excited about that, and that's just to show you that we are really excited about moving forward with the plans that we have outlined for the next few years. And so we are really grateful for all of your support, grateful for you who have showed up, grateful for you who are online, and grateful to Pastor Tom and the members here at East Ridge Community who has hosted us tonight in such a lovely fashion. Thank you very much. And we also, yes, have to be thankful for Dave, our tech guy, John, I think 3 assemblies ago, we kind of got him in and he has never left. He's And now we hear some music that will close us off as we then end with a word of prayer.
Our closing song goes way back to 1978, I think, written by John Byron, but it represents very well all of us who are in this room and online right now, everyone in Chum. It's entitled, "We Are the Family of God." And this one needs to be done standing up so you can sway back and forth, if you want, okay? And the chorus is really easy. By the time we get to the end, you will have sung it 5 times. We are the family of God. Yes, we are the family of God. And He's brought us together to be one in Him, that we might bring light to the world. We are the family of God. Yes, we are the family of God. And He's brought us together to be one in Him, that we might bring light to the world. Go make disciples in all lands. Go show them my way is true. Tell them the wonderful story, that they might be one in me too. Sing along. We are the family of God. Yes, we are the family of God. And He's brought us together to be one in Him, that we might bring light to the world. Let them know life in the making. Let them know peace from above. Show them by your own example of love in the family of God. Sing along. We are the family of God. Yes, we are the family of God. And He's brought us together to be one in Him, that we might bring light to the world. Bigger and better is my love that I have bestowed unto you. And now it's for each one to share of, that all things might now become new. Let's sing. We are the family of God. Yes, we are the family of God. And He's brought us together to be one in Him, that we might bring light to the world. Let's sing that chorus again. We are the family of God. Yes, we are the family of God. And He's brought us together to be one in Him, that we might bring light to the world. That we might bring light to the world.
We wanted to, we wanted to thank you for being here this evening and for continuing to do the work. And let me pray over you as we exit tonight. God, we just thank you for these people, both in person and online. And we thank you for the staff and the volunteers and everything that happens at Chum. And we pray for those who are on the streets tonight. May they find a warm place, a safe place, and may we open a door for them. We thank you, all of this, in Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Thank you.